Hi, this is Edward Villella. I've been doing a podcast, uh, oh, almost 2 years now, and we're about to shoot our 20th. And I think that's a unique circumstance, certainly for me. But within all of this, I've had such a good time just playing. And that's what I do. Obviously, I'm a retired old gentleman. I was a ballet dancer for 19 years at the New York City Ballet. I worked for George Balanchine, Jerome Robbins. I was prominent. Always got me a good seat in a restaurant. So I love doing it, and I love to continue to do it. And I got a great pal who does all of this for me. In this episode, we talk about George Balanchine's ballet, Tarantella. It might be interesting for people to understand why a Tarantella is called Tarantella. And the history of that is that the idea is it's like being bitten by a tarantula, and therefore you got to get that poison out of you, so you've got to be able to dance on Tarantella. What I would say is that number one, it's a joyful work. It's a work to smile. It's an entertaining work, but it's not your traditional classical 19th century kind of approach. It's a tarantella. It's a folk dance. In this episode, we talk about George Balanchine's Prodigal Son. And I would use my imagination, and I would make up stories, make up characters, and continue the whole thing. It's something I enjoyed, and it was something later on that became terrific for me, because I always had to be somebody on stage. Who was I on stage? Who were the other people on the stage? How did they relate to me? So this idea of making story with your body when you were moving became something I understood instinctively. I watched Balanchine. I could see what he meant. I could see the musicality. I could see how he was playing with rhythms. I could see when he was a noble. I could see when he was a character. So he was a great image for all of this stuff. But in this ballet, he was not interesting. He just simply was not interesting. So I think he kind of left it to me, and he trusted me. In this episode, we talk about George Balanchine's Apollo. I was stunned when Balanchine came up to me and said, "I'd like you to learn Apollo." And in particular, all of the Apollos, as far as I knew, in its history, were very, very tall guys. And I am not a tall man. So it really stunned me that he would ask me to learn it. And he said, "I think you have a very good potential in it." So again, I was just stunned. So he said, "Go learn it and show it to me." So I went to a guy who knew it. I asked him to show it to me. He did. I showed it to Balanchine. And Balanchine looked at me and he said, "That's not Apollo." And I said, "Mr. Bean, it's the steps, it's the counts, it's..." He said, "But it's not Apollo." And he said, "I will show it to you." And there he is, standing in a double-breasted suit, and he always had something around his neck, a scarf, looking very elegant. I said, "Okay, show it to me." So he shows it to me, and suddenly I see there's an enormous dimension to his characterization. And I thought, wow, at least now I have, from the inventor, oh my golly, I have what it is that he wants the characterization to be like. In this episode, we talk about how my mother got me into ballet. And what happened was I got dragged to my sister's ballet class, and it was boring. I had to sit and watch I was the only guy, and I'd sit and watch, and they did all of these little girly things, and then they started to jump, and I started to giggle, and I started leaning this way, and I got up, and I started to fly around, and I disrupted the class. And at the end of the class, the teacher came over to me and my mother and said, "You either got to get him out of here or put him in tights at the bar." And that began it all. So there I was so pissed. And then I began to see this stuff had a logic to it. It had a certain practicality to it. And it was decipherable. And then I suddenly became good at it. And then my mother, being a very smart lady, heard about this guy called ballet, had the School of American Ballet in New York City. So she took my sister in. My sister auditioned, accepted, and given a scholarship. And as they were leaving, she said, "Oh, I also have a son at home who also dances, but he's not very interested." And I said, "Oh my God, the son, a boy, can he walk? Bring him in." So they brought me in, and suddenly I become I'm the only guy there. And suddenly everybody's coming in to see me. In this episode, we talk about my experience in Denmark, Copenhagen. Denmark has had a long, long history of excellence in the world of classical ballet. And it goes back centuries. And they have a style which is a vaudeville style. And Vaudeville was the guy who really put them on the modern map. And out of that came this teacher, Stanley Williams. He's got this kind of English name, but he was a Puritan. And when he came, he was just an amazing teacher. And the first day actually Ballantyne said, I'm bringing this man from Denmark, Williams, and he knows how to make people move. And the thing was, with Ballantyne, he came to Denmark. They were doing his ballets, but his wife at that time had gotten polio. So, and it was in the Nordic areas. So it was probably Sweden or something like that. So he had nothing to do. He went over to Denmark. They had invited him. He rehearsed some of its ballets, and then he went in to see a class. Hi, this is Edward Villella. I hope you like my podcast and subscribe.